Did you say Metallica? Yeah. Hey gang, Jeff Stone here with day 74 of the year 2016 at MagicReviewed.com. Mentallica, Heavy Mental Magic. Man, I wish I thought of the name of this book for myself. Can you copyright book? I'm going to steal that book name. Though if I would have done it, it would have been a lot better. Sorry. It would have to be. No matter how bad I am, I don't think I'm that bad. I think mine would have been better. Now, all arrogance and self-righteousness aside, let's dive into the specifics of this. For $20, you're getting Ben Harris's, right here, a collection of hard-hitting mentalism, new ideas with some of the greatest mentalist props out there. Some of the greatest mentalist props out there, that's true. So he has the list of these effects that you're getting, and they are Televised Drawing Duplication, Ring Thing, The Eternal Flame, Shopping Center Impromptu, X-Ray Mother, Three-Dimensional, and Director's Cut. So I did this in the written review, but let's just kind of do this here on the video so you can feel my pain, folks. So going with the idea that he's adding new stuff to these effects, we're going to roll in effect, method, and ad copy all into one ball, and we're going to do each of those three things per effect. So we're going to talk about all three of those things with the design dupe, and then with the ring thing, and then with the eternal flame, and on and on and on. Okay, televised design duplication. Here's the effect. It's a design dupe. Yep, that's it. This is one of the few that doesn't actually require you to already pre-own some other prop like some of these other ones do. So this was like a challenge he gave himself. Apparently Uri Geller did a performance back in the day, I don't remember, it's all in the book, on TV where he did a design dupe, and the person that drew the first picture that Uri's going to duplicate, Uri Geller asks those people, that person, some specific questions, like, at any time did I see what you drew? Is there any way I could know? And all these specific things that set up the fairness of the design duplication. And so Ben Harris made an effect that replicated those same fair conditions. There's nothing new about that, guys. I mean, there's really nothing he added. It's basically, you pre-show, have a spectator select a drawing, and it is a free choice, but they select a drawing, and then that's it. And they draw it, and then you do the duplication of it on stage. I don't know what's new there. I mean, I've seen that exact thing almost. But certainly it's not like some revolutionary, how did they word this? Hard-hitting mentalism, new ideas with some of the greatest mentalism props out there. It's not using any mentalism props, which I'm okay with that. But yeah, design dupes can be hard-hitting, but he's not bringing anything to the table here. Okay, so ad copy. Let's talk about that for a second. I'll probably have to consult my notes here. We'll leave it at that, and then when I get to the ad copy section, there might be some more things I'll add in. Next, though, we have the ring thing, which is, that is using a gimmicked key, the shift key put out by Illusionist. It's about $100 for that key. I've looked around and I could not find one for sale anywhere. Even on Illusionist site, when I search for shift, even when I search for self-bending key or whatever, it comes up with other shift products like a paper clip and some stuff. Maybe a fork or not, I can't remember, but not the key. I couldn't find it anywhere. So let's just assume you have it. Okay, you've already spent the $100, you've got the key, and from what I could tell, it's great. One of the advantages of a key, which Ben Harris points out, is that you can't, like, you can hand out the key, even though it's gimmicked. Once it bends, you can hand it out, and they can't really bend it back. Whereas if you hand out one of your self-bending forks, they could bend it back and they could break it, ruin it. And then there goes your $100 fork, right? So, so what did Ben Harris add to this? You put the gimmick key, which is silver, I believe, and then a brass key on one key ring. And then you equivocate the silver key. That is all, folks. That's what he added to this. And he concluded that by saying, let me look here, see if I can get the exact quote. Yes, this is a quote. The effect is enhanced by the apparent free choice of the key. I don't think, dude, that you're the first guy to think of forcing the key that you're going to bend on somebody. Nothing new there, folks. Nothing. I don't see what the big deal was. Eternal Flame. Okay, this is the first one where maybe he's got something here that is of value to you. Unfortunately, I can't tell you too much about it, but it does. So first thing you want to do, go, if you don't already own this, it's called The Light. It's by Chris Congreves. I don't own one, so I can't speak to the quality of the gimmick, but you can pretty much see what the gimmick is in the ad trailer, because it's not a gimmick per se. It's just a Zippo lighter that's been modified in a certain way, and you see the modification in the trailer. So go look at that. If you think that's cool, I don't know anything about it, so I can't vouch for the product, but that's $78. If you have that, basically the effect of that is, card to impossible location, and the card goes inside of the Zippo. That's pretty much like you have to remove the butane thing, and I want to say tank, but it's not a tank. A little sponge thing that holds the sponge in the flint and steel. You pull that out, and inside there, the lighter's been hollowed out, and there's the card or whatever. So Ben Harris has come up with a presentation that makes the lighter more relevant for sure. I mean, yeah, we always do the let's light the slide on the playing cards or whatever, but this, he brings it to a whole different relevant use of the lighter. It makes perfect sense. Secondly, it's centered around music and going to concerts and stuff like that. And it does add a different sort of feel to that prop. And so that's one where I'd say, yeah, he's bringing something to the table there. So you may be interested in that one. I don't know. But the design dupe, it's nothing exciting or new there, guys, as far as method goes. And that's not just my opinion. I'm just saying there's nothing new. That is a fact. That kind of stuff has been done before. Ring thing with the forcing the key. Nothing is being added there. And if you already own the key, well, there, now you know, force the key, and now your effect's better. This one, though, Eternal Flame, I think he has added something valuable to that. Now, one thing I feel is valuable is the presentation, but that's an opinion. You may not like the presentation. The method doesn't really change at all, but it does. The presentation does justify the lighter. Makes perfect sense. It makes total complete sense. And the fact that you're using it and everything totally fits into that particular presentation. Next one, oh my gosh. Okay, so the first one, the design dupe, no extra props are needed as far as buying some fancy expensive prop. The ring thing and the Eternal Flame require the $99 key gimmick. I think it's $99. Or then the Eternal Flame requires that Chris Congreves Zippo thing. That's $78. The next one's called Shopping Center Impromptu. Oh, man. So this one is basically, the concept is, it's clever, but there's no use for it. So basically he says, go out into a parking lot at a shopping center and look at people's cars. And here's how you can learn information about these people based on their cars. That's a clever way to gain some information. Peek in their window and hope you don't get caught. Look in their window, and what you see in there can tell you things about them. The kind of bumper stickers they have might tell you their political leanings or something like that. There's lots of different things that he points out, and I'm not going to give those away because if you do want to learn those, I think it's fair that you buy the book. But there's tons of things he talks about of gleaning this information. Okay, so you're strolling around a shopping center parking lot and looking at people's cars, making notes. Then what? How do you know whose car it is? Do you go into the I mean, do you wait for the person to get out of the car and then run over and look in their car? So now you know that the car belongs to the lady that was wearing the blue dress and had the 2 kids in the cart. So, okay, let's say that's what you do. Then what? You run into the shopping center while she's putting baby formula and cereal into her grocery cart, and you go, by the way, ma'am, you don't know me, but I'm going to tell you things about yourself that the only way I could possibly know them is if I'm a stalker. I mean, well, how do you break into that? Now, maybe there is a legitimate way to do that. I don't know. But if there is, then tell us what it is. He's just telling you how to gain useless information. And no, it doesn't talk about any way of how to associate it with a person. Now, it may be as simple as this. Have a cohort in the parking lot at your gig, watching people arrive at the gig and looking in the cars, and then giving you the information and telling you who got out of what car and so forth. Maybe that's workable, but even that, think about this for a minute. You got people showing up at the gig, and I don't know what kind of venue it is. You know, I don't know that he's working big ones where there's hundreds of people filling. I don't know. I'm not saying he does or doesn't. I'm not trying to be insulting or anything. I just don't know what his gigs are. But let's say it's a deal where there's 50 to 100 people showing up. Okay, well, when somebody gets out of a car, your cohort writes down, dude wearing the pinstripe suit, with the bald spot in the back and the brown glasses, whatever, drives this kind of car and here's all the details I learned by peeking in his car. While you're peeking in his car, what do the other people in the parking lot think you're doing? And then as they walk in and you run over to their car, maybe they don't see you, but the guy next to them does. So I don't know there's just some details that he left out. Maybe it's something better suited for a restaurant where you've got somebody strolling the restaurant parking lot looking at cars. But even then, there's people are going to see you doing it. And then, your cohort comes in or calls you or something and says, okay, here comes so-and-so. It's a party of 4 people. They're going to be coming in. It's 2 guys, 2 girls. They're wearing this and that. And here's the car that came in and here's some info. Maybe that's a workable solution. I don't know. But none of that was discussed. All he talked about was the kind of information you might be able to gain by looking at somebody's car. So there you go. X-Ray Mother. This one is brilliant. The method is and here's the thing that's frustrating about this. I would do this. It requires that you own a particular type of book test. I happen to own it, mother of all book tests. It's a $350 book test. He mentions other book tests that you can use. Let's see here. There's Luch's area book test. So Luch is the guy's name, I guess. Area book test. Then there's Glance, which is apparently another book test. Basically, any book test where they can pretty much, or magazine, where they can pretty much, like, it's not where you're restricting their choices. It's not one where you hold the page and look at the top word. It's not that kind of a book test. It's one where you can give them the book, tell them to turn to any page, and have them pretty much circle any page in the book, any word in the book, or think of any word in the book. It's those kind of book tests. And there are lots of those types out there. The UF Grant method is one of the most popular ones, which is basically the mother of all book tests. This presentation takes it. My brain is everywhere, guys. Sorry. So I said that this is frustrating. This is frustrating because I judge on method, not effective presentation. So the method is great because it's the same method as the mother of all book tests. Nothing's really changed there. What he's changed is the presentation. And so I have to judge a little bit on presentation here, but that frustrates me because you may think it's a stupid idea. I don't know. But I have to judge because this is a book about presentation. He's not selling methods here. He's selling presentations. And so that's why I'm having some problems here where he didn't sell anything to me with the Force a Key. Well, whatever, that's nothing. The Eternal Flame, that's a good presentation that he's selling, in my opinion. But again, who am I to say, right? The shopping center thing, there was no presentation. It was only method. Then this X-Ray Mother. This changes it from a book test to a different effect. So he's changed the effect and the presentation using the same method. Oftentimes with book tests, there's the sort of underlying tension of, if you really can read my mind, why do you need me to look in a book? Now, granted, there's 100 ways to solve that problem. I'm not saying that this is the only way to solve the problem, but it is a way, and it's a good way. And that is, he turns it into a presentation where he has them circle any word in the book, and then he puts the book in, like, I think he puts it between steel plates or something, and he claims to have X-ray vision. And he's able to see through the book and see the word they circled. That is a great presentation, in my opinion. That's something I would do with my mother of all book tests. But that's up to you if you like the presentation. Regardless, that's something where I feel he has added value. I think that's a fair statement, regardless of whether you like the presentation or not. I think it's fair to say that on the Eternal Flame and on X-Ray Mother, he's added value. And those are publish-worthyable. Publish-worthy. Publication, I don't know. They have my approval of being published. Next, you get three-dimensional, which will require you to own a $500 prop, no kidding, called Multidimensional. It's by Pro Mystic. If you know Pro Mystic, you know it's an electronic thing. It's this device. It comes with four things. It comes with a box. So imagine the old color cube thing, but it's bigger, but it's not the color cube. Although that is basically the effect. You have them put a cube in the box, and you're able to tell them what object is pointing upwards. You get a cube that has all the ESP symbols on it. You get a cube that has 6 different colors on it, and then you get a cube that has something else on it. I can't remember. Go click on the link. I think I put it in the written review. But just go over to promystic.com and search for multidimensional, and you'll see the 3 cubes you get plus the box, $500. And then it's electronic. There's a little receiver that can tell you which object is face up. So if you have that already, then you may be interested in this presentation, which is, he uses the mini version, which I don't know how much those cost, but it's a smaller version of the cube. Puts it in a cup, like a teacup with a saucer, to where you can't see it. Then they shake it up, which I don't know if I'd want to be shaking up my little $400 electronic device, but he has them do that. And then he does like a remote viewing presentation where he's going to apparently go inside the cup, in his mind, and he draws a 3-dimensional drawing, which he actually shows right here, this bottom middle picture there. So the top one is the actual cube. The bottom one is his little drawing to prove that he predicted 3 sides that he could see of the cube. There's maybe something added there, but it's not really much different from what you get from if you own that thing. So, finally, director's cut. Oh my word. So, if I had any hair left, gone. Director's cut is, he recently published a little booklet about the same size for $30 called A Thought Well Stolen. I reviewed that. There's the link to the review right there. So watch that. It might give you a little bit more context here, but basically it's any card and any number. Here's what the procedure looks like. You, sir, think truly, freely of any number, of any card. You're thinking of he's whatever, 4 of hearts. He's thinking of it, never tells you. Here's a deck of cards, sir. I'm going to deal them one at a time, face up. As I'm dealing face up, you just count the cards. We're going to count all the way to 52, and I'll count them 1, 2. And whatever number your card is at, remember that number. So let's say they notice that their card's at the 20th position. Great. Put the deck back. You can put it in the box, whatever. You bring out another deck, and you look through it, and you're like, think of your card, and you pretend to get their thoughts, and you grab a card, like, I think I've got it. And then you position it somewhere. Think of your number you're thinking of, and you position it somewhere, square it up, and bam, you hand out that deck, and they deal through to the 20th card, and then it matches their selection. That's the effect. Okay, there's a follow-up phase to that in A Thought Well Stolen. In this one, they refer to it as a streamlined version of the trick. And they also refer to it as saying, you also are able to create the sense that there was only one deck ever in play. Okay, first, is it streamlined? Maybe, because he cut out the second phase completely. The write-up is almost verbatim the same. Then, on top of that, this claim that you can make it seem as if only one deck was used. Well, that's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. Is ASA 10, is that a thing? Certainly ASA 9. Here's why. Think of the effect. I'm thinking of a card. I'm thinking of the Four of Hearts. The magician deals down, and I remember that the card is at the 20th position. Now, if in my mind only one deck was used, what's the effect then? Well, we took that same one deck and counted down to the 20th card, and my card was there. Well, of course it was there. You just saw it there as we counted through the deck. That's a stupid effect. That doesn't make any sense. Who cares what the effect is, right? But there is no effect in that case. That's not even an effect. That's just stupidity. So to brag that you've made it to where it only seems like one deck was in use is just stupid. You've taken away from the effect, not added to it. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have a heart attack right now. So, I feel like Peanut on Jeff Dunham. Peanut. Just his, oh my gosh. Anyway, moving on. Ad copy integrity. I'm not even going to... it's iffy at best. They're talking about it's new, fresh, and original. It's just nothing new about a lot of this stuff. And go read the written review. I'm running out of time here. I'm going to fill up my phone hard drive here, but I'm just looking quickly. Yeah, I don't see anything worth really discussing. We've probably covered most of it. Look at the written review if you want more details, but the ad copy has some big issues in it. Product quality actually is awesome, as far as the production value. The name of the book is incredible. I love the name of the book. And the write-ups are great, other than the fact that there's nothing special about what's written. The context isn't that great, but the write-up of that context is just fine. Anyway, so that said, go look at the written review. As I mentioned, final verdict 2 stars. Stone status of Grubble. Couple of possible gems with the lighter thing and the mother of all book tests, surrounded by a huge pile of rubble. That's it for this one, folks. Thanks for watching. Time to subscribe, like, share, do all that fun stuff while I reward you with the random iTunes song of the moment, which is Softest by Hole. Man, that would have been great if that had come up when I reviewed Ocular. That would have been great. Although this is Softest, which is, or just Softest, which is the opposite of heavy, hard, mental stuff. Anywho, that's it for this one, folks. Tune in tomorrow where we look at Screen Test by Steve Demmer. Until then, thanks for watching. Peace out.